For latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
Chapter 4 of the Customs Act, Prohibitions on Importation and Exportation of Goods. It is covered by Section 11. A single section covers the entire chapter, and when one looks at the structure of the Customs Act, this is the first operating section of the Customs Act. And what does it talk about? Prohibition. So it tells you right over there that the job of Indian Customs is to ensure that nothing untoward happens within the country to Indian society or to anything that the authorities may feel is detrimental to the country. The definition of prohibition as given under Section 2 of the Customs Act covers the word prohibition. It does not use the word restriction. The word prohibition is defined in Section 2 of the Customs Act, and it includes restricted as understood under the foreign trade policy. So whenever we use the word prohibited in Indian customs, it includes prohibited and restricted under the DGFT. Let us go over this chapter. What does Section 11 say? Section 11 reads as, if the central government, so proper officer would be central government, is satisfied that it is necessary so to do for any purposes specified in subsection 2, it may by notification in the official gazette prohibit either absolutely or subject to such conditions to be fulfilled before or after clearance, as the case may be specified in the notification, the import or export of goods of any specified description. Important to note that it is the central government. So it is not covering only customs or the foreign trade policy. It is covering every possibility of any action taken by the central government. And this is where the participating government agencies come into play. It further says very clearly that it can be before importation, it can be after importation, and it has to be a condition that has to be fulfilled. Let us see further what does this chapter talk about. For the purposes referred to in subsection 1, the following have to be considered, and this is what we must appreciate, that there are 22 clauses put under section 11 of the Customs Act. And which are those 22? When one looks at these 22, you will notice that they are all talking about the safety, the security, the sovereignty of the country, of its people, of its society. What are the 22 items? A. Maintenance of the security of India. B. Maintenance of public order and standards of decency or morality. C. Prevention of smuggling. D. Prevention of shortage of goods of any description. E. The conservation of foreign exchange and the safeguarding of balance of payments. F. Prevention of injury to the economy of the country. Here they are very specific, by uncontrolled import or export of gold or silver, the prevention of surplus of any agricultural product or product of fisheries, the maintenance of standards for the classification, grading or marketing of goods in international trade. I. The establishment of any industry. J. The prevention of serious injury to domestic production of goods of any description. K. protection of human, animal or plant life or health. L. The protection of national treasures of artistic, historic or archaeological value. M. The conservation of exhaustible natural resources. N. Protection of patents, trademarks, copyrights, designs and geographical indications. O. Prevention of deceptive practices. P. Carrying on of foreign trade in any goods by the state or by a corporation owned or controlled by the state to the exclusion, complete or partial, of citizens of India. The fulfillment of obligations under the Charter of the United Nations for maintenance of international peace and security. The implementation of any treaty or convention with any country, the compliance of imported goods with any laws which are applicable to similar goods produced or manufactured in India, the prevention of dissemination of documents containing any matter which is likely to prejudicially affect friendly relations with any foreign state or is derogatory to national prestige. The prevention of the contravention of any law for the time being in force and any other purpose conducive to the interests of the general public. Let us look at this again. When one looks at A, B, C and D, A, B, C does not need much explanation. D is what we are experiencing on and off when the government says that the export of onions is banned or controlled, the export of rice is banned or controlled. When one talks about F in particular, one needs to realize that they specifically used import or export of gold or silver because that was the stage in 1962 when Gold and Silver Control Act had come in around the same time, and still they are very easy models of smuggling. When one looks at the maintenance of standards for classification or grading, one is talking about maintaining international standards. Establishment of any industry would be for setting up industries which may not be conducive to the Indian people, may not be conducive for the industry. Protection of human, animal or plant life or health, and that is why this is the place where the port health officer, plant quarantine, animal quarantine and all those clearances are needed. We are all regularly reading about items of archaeological value which talks about the history of India, and the government would like that these items remain within the country. The conservation of exhaustible natural resources, we have seen that Goa, which exported a lot of natural resources, can no longer export natural resources. Section 11, subsection 3 is a very interesting addition done to the Customs Act, but as of September of 2023, it has still not been notified. And notifying this section 11.3 would mean that Indian Customs or the Ministry of Finance would have to take out a notification against every central government notification under this act so that it can implement those notifications. As of just now, any notification issued by the central government has to be followed by Indian customs.
For detailed learning of all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.